baby. We're live. I think the reason my internet had not been working recently is because of multi-streaming. I would stream to BandLab and I would stream to YouTube at the same time. I tried to do that right now and I realized it was messing me up. So I think that's been the problem with my streaming. So I'm only going to stream to YouTube right now. So yeah, hello friends, welcome. Let me just post my donation link in case anybody wants to make a donation. I'll put it in the chat here, and it's also in the link in the description. Let me just pin this message. Tonight I will be working on doing some sound design. So I'm not particularly going to work on one specific track or genre. I'm going to work on making sounds. And I'm going to try to focus on Citrus, using Citrus to generate sounds. And perhaps a little bit of Vital as well, or maybe other plugins like GMS and stuff like that. But I'm going to start off with Citrus. Hey, what's up, Misael? Okay, so welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be making some sounds. I'm gonna be doing sound design in Citrus. What I want to figure out first, though, is how to better organize my presets, because this is a little messy. I think it's right here, actually, on tree display. Is that it? There it is. So all of these are folders, and then all of these are sounds that I've made. So what I kind of want to do is I want to create another folder. That way I can organize these sounds. But where can I find this? Like, where is this located? Maybe if I go into save preset as documents, image line, FL Studio, presets, plugin presets, generators, Citrus. Okay. So let's go there. Documents, FL Studio, no, image line. I have so many folders, man. I gotta organize myself a little better. There it is. Image line, FL Studio, presets, plugin presets. It'll be a generator, Citrus, and here we have all of mine. But here's the thing, I don't see the other ones. I don't see the native ones. It might just work though if I make a folder. So let's make a folder. I'll do, these are the first ones that I've made, or old ones. I'm just gonna call it old patches. Right, and then I'm gonna take all of these and I'm gonna drag them in there. Boom. Okay. Then I'll make a new folder. Call these new. I'll just call this Eterno. That way, these are like my patches. Now let's see how that works out in Citrus here. I don't see the folder now, which is a problem. Oh, there it is, old patches. I have all of these. And then my other ones would be under Eterno, but since it didn't have anything in it, there is none in there for now. So, okay, that's good. So I have my old patches here. These are old ones that I've made for the sake of this video. And from now on, I'm going to put them into my new folder. I'm also going to make a pack of all the sounds that I'm going to be making. And I'll put that out for my patrons, and I'll put it out separately as well for sale in case anybody wants to get it. And I'll probably put a few out for free as well, depending how many I make. I wanna make a lot. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started by going to presets, and we just go into default. Boom. If I hit one note. All right. Okay. I don't want to stay up too late tonight because I've been doing pretty good with my sleep schedule. So we'll see how long I stream for tonight. Let me make sure stream is good. Yes, it is. I'm on the green here. And excellent connection over on YouTube. Okay. So this is Citrus. Citrus is a very powerful plugin. Not a lot of people are aware of how Citrus works. It's pretty simple once you understand things about like oscillators and LFOs and envelopes and all that stuff. Everything and every synthesizer is the same, essentially, right? Some just give you more flexibility with the way that you can do sounds. Citrus is a frequency modulation synth, so an FM synth, but it also has ring modulation and other kinds of modulation, which is cool because you can do a lot of different sounds with that. The main tab controls everything all together. So you have unison, you have the envelope, the volume envelope, filter envelopes, you have an EQ, and you have this modulation tab which you can hook up to different things. And then you have the main volume, the LFO amount or level, and then the main pitch. And then here are just different options. Sampling quality is once you render this out, so when you render your track, it's going to do 8 times oversampling. So it might change the way that you're listening to it in real time. So if you want to listen to it in real time, you'd have to click on a draft and then do the same thing here, put it on an 8 so that you can hear the same sound that you're making in here is going to be the same sound you're going to hear when your track renders out. Right. And if you want to change that, then you can put this 0 and this to 0, turn them off. That way, whatever you hear here is what you're going to hear when you export your track. It won't be changed because it'll alter it a little bit. And then here you have your oscillators or your operators, as Citrus calls them. So you have operator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you have a filter 1, a filter 2, and a filter 3. And then you have your effects tab, which has chorus, which is this, which is automatically on. You can turn it off by just going down to 0 here or putting it up. Then you have delay 1, delay 2, delay 3, and then a reverb here. So all these are the parameters for the reverb and the delays. And then you have this matrix, and then you have all these options down here that are a little crazy to get into right now for every little detail. Perhaps I'm thinking I'm gonna be doing tutorials explaining all these things in detail for Patreon. So I'll do like a tutorial on Citrus, a tutorial on GMS, a tutorial on EQ2, on Delay 3, on Reverb 2. Just kind of breaking everything down. And then maybe even doing one for the sampler, for the playlist, the piano roll, the mixer, all that stuff. That way beginners that are trying to learn FL Studio can, kind of get a little bit better understanding on it. But that'll be on Patreon, because that's gonna take me some time to like put together and stuff like that. It's an investment. But for today, I'm just gonna do sound design. So I'll try to talk through what I'm doing as much as possible. That way you guys can kind of follow on along a little bit. So yeah, right now I'm in the default patch right here in the presets, which is just this sine wave on operator 1. I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit. And then here, you can change the shape to different shapes. You can also right click and select the shapes here. So you have a sine, a triangle, a saw wave, and a square wave. And then this is frequency. So you can change the frequency amount. And that will, you can tune basically your sound to a specific frequency if you'd like to do it that way. And then there's this, which is a ratio, the frequency ratio. So 2 is 1 octave, 1 is an octave below that, and then 4 is an octave higher than that. 3 is kind of, I think 3 is like a different one. I don't know exactly. I just know that it goes 1, 2, 4, and then I think 8 maybe. Yeah. And you wanna, this band limit prevents aliasing. Then you have a declick button and a center. I still need to study up on what these mean, but they're mostly for like click removal or DC offsetting or aliasing. So it has to do with all that stuff, just to prevent, it's preventative measures for that. Then you have phasing. So where the position of where the sound starts. So if you want it to start from the beginning, it's just here. If you want it to start at any other point, then you move it. Okay, well, let's just make a nice sound here. I'm gonna go into a saw wave. And I'm going to run this through filter 1. So in order to do that, I need to turn it off over here, because right now it's being played as this is highlighted, which means operator 1. And when you go across, this means that it's going out. So if I turn this off, nothing comes out. If I turn it on, it turns on. If I turn this on, then it adds in the effects. So right now it has chorus. That's why it sounds very spread out like that. And that's controlled by this. And then you have the panning, which just moves it from the left to the right side. But again, I don't want this dry signal coming out. So I'm going to turn it off. And then you go down here. This is filter 1, filter 2, filter 3, right? So it's going to be right here. And you want operator 1 to be turned on for the filter. So then you go vertically on this, you go down. And so this knob right here is turning it on for the operator 1 through filter 1. That's what that means. If you want operator 2 to filter 1, then you go to this one. And operator 3, 4, etc., etc. So right now I only have operator 1 active. And even if you click it, you're not going to hear anything. That's because you have to go horizontally to the output and turn it on. And same thing, you can add effects and you can add panning. So then in the filter, you go to filter 1. It's right here. The different kinds of filters are right here. If you right click, you'll have low pass, high pass, band stop, peaking, shelf filters. There's different kinds of filter types. And then you can also do your own. So like if you want to add in a band pass, you just raise some of this or lower it. Then you have the resonance. And the envelope amount / LFO amount. So that's going to be the amount of the way that this affects the cutoff. And yeah. So I'm going to go back to operator 1. I want to modulate the frequency because I want to make this sound more analog. And when it comes to analog sounds, there's a lot of modulation, very subtle modulation that's going on with the pitch, with the volume. There's different LFO things going on. There's noise. There's a little bit of everything. So I'm going to try to just incorporate that stuff into the sound to make it sound a little more analog. So I'm going to go into the pitch here. And if I go into the randomize and I hold down a note, if I move this, it's going to change the pitch pretty drastically. And every time I click it, it's going to randomize where the pitch is going to be. So you don't want it that drastic. You want more of like a subtle amount. So you can lower this. This is the pitch envelope right here. You can lower this. The higher you go, the more variation in pitch that it has. But the lower you go, it just fluctuates between a lower pitch variation. So if you look up here on the top left hint panel and you hover over it, you can see the amount. So right there's just plus 62 cents. So it's going to go up 62 cents and down 62 cents depending on your randomization envelope here. So I don't want it that high. I just want a few cents. Maybe like, I'll do 14 cents. So it's just very subtly manipulating the pitch. Bring down that resonance. Let me just make a low pass filter. I'll try out some of these low pass filters. Let me go up higher in the pitch. So I'm gonna make a cutoff envelope. So I'm gonna go here to the cut and I'm gonna go into envelope. Now we can start shaping the envelope here. I'm gonna go into the operator one, volume, envelope. I'm just gonna shape that a little bit. Go into the cutoff filter. Hey, what up, Wavy? Do a little bit more of a attack. Put it on 2. Yes, sir. I'm making doing some sound design in Citrus. Yeah, so right now the pitch is being slightly randomized and modulated, which gives it a nice warm sound, as well as the filtering. Hey, hold on, let me fix my microphone. Okay. Hello. Okay. I think this should be a little better. Hi, Emery. I'm gonna turn off the snapping here to grid so that I can freely move this without having it snap to these blocks. That was the wrong one. Okay, now I'm gonna add some reverb. I want to turn down this chorus here. I'm gonna go into the reverb section and the effects, turn that on. For the color, I'm gonna go into the W, which means warm or warmer. So it's just a warm sounding reverb. And I'm gonna go ahead and go into the filter and turn it on, maybe halfway, so I can hear it. And then I can turn on the volume here for the wet. We have the damping, which means more of the higher frequencies. We have the decay time, so the time that the reverb lasts. And turn on the envelope a little more. So turning it up pretty high would be good for like pads and things like that. We have the room size. So if you want a really big room, you increase that. Or if you want a smaller size room. Then there's the reverb pre-delay. So the amount of time it takes for the reverb to kick in. The longer the time, the more quiet it is in the beginning. So if you want it to kick in right away, you just turn that all the way down. I might turn on just maybe like 80 milliseconds. And then there's also high cut. And then there's a low cut, which I'm going to turn on maybe to like 200. Just to kind of filter any of the low frequency sounds from the reverb. And then maybe add in a delay. So I'm going to turn that on. Maybe do like a ping pong delay. This offset will offset the delay to the left or to the right, which is going to give it more of a stereo effect. So it bounces it from left to right. And the timing is the delay time. And then the feedback amount. Maybe turn down a little bit of that reverb. And if you want, you can also add chorus. So add in some voices here. And again, when you hover over any of these things up here on the hint panel, it'll tell you what it is. So here it's the chorus depth. Here's the chorus speed. This is the chorus delay, the chorus spread, chorus crossover, and then the volume of the chorus. So I want to modulate the volume now of this. I can either do the filter volume or the actual volume of the oscillator. So I think that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it very subtly through an LFO. So I'm going to go to the volume LFO tab. I'm going to turn on this LFO and then just kind of shape it. Speed. So again, I don't want it super drastic. I just want some movement. So I'm going to turn this down just by bringing this down and bringing this down. So I could have it start off a little slow and then slightly come in and then go back down. can also change the speed of that. I can change the tension to make it a little more sine wave or more triangle, or just give it its own shape, square wave. And then I can skew that to the left or to the right, and I can extend it as well. Now up here, I can change the shape as well. Right now it's on saw wave, but I can change it to square wave, triangle wave, or a sine wave. But I'm gonna put it on saw. I also can put it to the tempo so that it locks on to a tempo with the speed. Now I can do that to the filter as well. If I go into the volume, envelope, go into the LFO, this will change the volume of the LFO. So if I So you can go ahead and change that as well. Thank you, Emery. Yeah, this is I'm gonna save this for sure to the channel. This video is gonna be just doing sound design. So right now I'm kind of trying to explain as much of the process as I can, because I know sometimes when I'm making videos and I'm making music, I'm just doing stuff and I'm not really explaining what I'm doing. So I want to try to get better at just kind of letting you guys know, you know, the thought process behind sound design and when you're creating your own sounds, especially in the stock plugins of FL Studio. I was talking earlier in the video about how I want to make a series of videos explaining how Citrus works, how the EQ works, how Harmless works, how GMS works, how the mixer works, how different effects work, all that kind of stuff. Just kind of breaking down every single thing little by little in a series of videos and tutorials for people that are just beginning or that have been doing it for a while but don't really mess with stock plugins very much. So I want to do that, and I'm going to be putting that out on Patreon. So that'll be up there. And of course, I'm going to be putting some stuff up on YouTube as well. But yeah, this one I'm going to keep up on the channel once I'm done with it. Thank you, Emery. Okay, so right now it sounds really low because I'm modulating the LFO volume. So maybe lower that. And slow that speed down. And I can also do a cutoff LFO as well. It's a little more intense, but maybe just slowly build it. I can also dip it down. I can also make it loop, I believe, if I put sustain loop at the end and in the beginning loop start. Now there's also a noise filter. There's a filter, a pre-filter here, which is kind of like a low filter. So if you want to do some pre-filtering on the sound, you can do it here. This is on operator 1. It has it on every operator or oscillator. There's also different skew and shape, sine shapers. And tension. And then you have noise. But I think what I'm going to do with the noise is I might create a separate oscillator just for it. I'm going to turn it on out here on operator 2. Jesus, why did it do that? That's weird. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? I'm not sure why it's being sustained that way. Either way, I just want noise. I wonder if I can change the pitch of a noise. Let me turn this on. I'm going to modulate the volume. and the panning as well. Maybe not that drastically. I'm gonna run this through filter 2. So this is operator 2. This is filter 2. Filter 2 up here. So I gotta turn it on operator 2. You go down. Turn that on. Turn it off over here. And then turn on filter 2 here. Let's make this a high pass filter. Just kind of filter out those lower frequencies. I just want the high ones. I'm gonna put declick, band limit, and sensor to eliminate any crazy clicking and stuff like that. Just want a little bit of that. And I can mix that in there slowly. I can also add effects to it. I believe I can also mix it into filter 1. But then you're going to get that low rumble sound, which I don't want. Now, what I can also do is I can do what I did here with filter 2. And then I can move this into filter 3 by going here into the next. I think I can move it. I wonder if I can move it back into filter 1 too. Let me try that actually. Because I was going to say I can put this in filter 2 and then mix it into filter 1. I don't know if I hear it or not. I don't think so. I can think I can mix it into the next one, but not into the previous one. I would have to check the manual to see if that's even possible. And then this here is like wave shaping. So if you want to add some distortion or if you want to thicken up your sound, the filter, you can turn that on here. And then you have the wave shape. This is just like the wave shaper here in the effects. Same thing. This thing right here is this shape right here as well. And then you have the different modes, so different wave shape types, and then the amplifier or the preamp, and then the mix knob of how much you want that wave shape to affect the filter, or you can just have it off. But yeah, I can essentially, I can just skip, just because I already did stuff on it. I think I can copy the state of a filter and then paste it into the next filter. And it should paste everything, but I don't think it did. Oh, I think I did. I'm supposed to do it here. Let's see. Copy state, filter 3, cut, paste state. Okay. And then what else did I have? Volume, copy state, volume, paste state. And I think it's just a filter type. This is an LP, low pass, 2. It's supposed to be down here. Now if I turn this off, turn it on filter 3. Why is this one doing that, but not the other one? Hmm. That's weird. I don't know why it sounds different if I have the same stuff on it. Forget it, we'll just do this. But volume envelope, copy state, go into this one, volume envelope, paste state. That way they play at the same time. I wish I could mix that into the first filter. Let's remove that loop. And if I want to get crazy, instead of making this noise, I can make this actual sound. I can frequency modulate operator 1 with it. It's here. I can change That sounds crazy. I wonder where the glide option is. I feel like portamento, global deset, offset removal, limit 1 voice per key, global pitch. There's also the unison, which I can change here as well. I can also hook up the filter to the Mod X here. Okay, that's going crazy. The rendering here, so I want to turn that off. I want to turn this off for the output as well though. So yeah, X is now controlling the cutoff because of when you go into filter, cut, mod X is this knob, mod Y is the other knob. So then when you move it here, it'll control whatever else you want to hook that up to. So mod X 0 is where it's at right now. If I want to go up, then I just move this point up, but I like it just there where it's at. The other one could be resonance, so I can do resonance mod Y, and I can pick that up. You can do multiple things to mod X. So if I want to control the cutoff and the resonance just with mod X, I can do it with mod X here. If I want to do it cutoff and resonance, I'll do mod Y. So then if I go in here, so that right there is picking up the resonance. You can hear it down here, it's lowering. So I can choose how much resonance I want to add in there. I don't want that much, so I'm just going to bring it down a little bit. I can also choose the low, band, and high, but that's when the other filter is activated, when you have the 3 faders here that have the low, band, and high. There's also this is the wave shaper matrix. And then this is the wave shaper mix. So I can mix in the amount of wave shaping. So I can do crazy stuff in here. But I'm just gonna leave it the way it was. Just gonna have it like this. And the wave mix on mod Y, I will just activate that a little bit. Or I can have it go in the opposite direction. Now I think in order to make things glide, I think I have to go into the actual settings here and move into the polyphony area. So I can put it on mono. And then here's the slide. I'm gonna practice messing with that a little bit more, but I want this to hold. I want this to sustain longer. I'm wondering why it's not. It's because of the LFO. Now that's operator 2. That's the one I was messing with all this craziness. I turned it on over here. I could turn it off and just leave the effects on, which would be interesting. Just to add little flavors of stuff. Oh, that sounds pretty crazy. I'm gonna do it very subtly. Then we have this envelope. And there's a filter. I'm gonna run that through filter 2. Put a LFO on that. Oh yeah, that's nice. Now I wonder what this is. Send to effect track number. Oh, so I can send this separately? Can I? Let's see. Insert number 2. I feel like I can do that. I didn't even know. Let me see. Oh, it has to be on. I wonder what that would be for. What that could possibly be used for. That would be interesting. Then there's also an EQ, so I could turn this on with the output and the effects, or just the output and not the effects, or just the effects. So I'm gonna do both output and effects, and I'm just gonna create a filter here. Low shelf. Low shelf. What are the options here? Low shelf, high shelf, and a what? Peaking. So I'll do low. And this is the bandwidth. Let's filter some of that out. This will be cool for, I'm gonna make a real quick little groove just so that the sounds that I'm making can kind of be, you know, used or compared to what it would sound like with a track. So let me go to 123 BPM. Let's get a little groove going. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Something subtle. Let's get a shaker. Okay, a little clap or something. Maybe another layer of a clap. Hey, what up, Jay-Z? Okay, now let's get this sound. Sidechain it. Why is it taking up so many resources is my question. I think it's the voicing probably. Let me turn that down to 1 and this to 0. I wonder why it's taking up so much CPU power. It shouldn't. Strange CPU with citrus sound. So today I had a citrus synth to a song I'm working on instead of fat saw preset. Okay, no answers there. One of the most important tips for reducing Citrus's CPU usage is to reduce polyphony by getting rid of unnecessarily long release times on envelopes. Make sure that you include a sustain endpoint for all your envelopes unless they are supposed to be one-shot sounds like percussion, and that all envelopes have finished releasing when no more sound is audible. For instance, if you have a pitch envelope that has a longer release than any of your volume envelopes, or a volume envelope on a modulation operator that has a longer release than any audible operator volume envelopes, it will still be releasing and contributing to polyphony after the note is already silent, wasting polyphony and CPU. If you see the FL polyphony meter still showing voices playing after there's no more sound, you've got a problem with one or more of your envelopes having an unnecessarily long release time. Remember, LFO envelopes also need to release properly. That's probably the problem then. Let's see. Yeah, because it seems the more I play, because if I play once, it's 3. But if I tap this, it like multiplies it. And that's when I start getting crazy CPU amount, because it's multiplying the voices from every click that I have. How can I prevent that? Let's see. Operator 1, the volume release. This is the release, isn't it? This is the sustain, and this is the release point. Same thing for this one, has a release point. The LFO does not, though. So would this be the release point if I put it on 0? Pitch is not on. The operator 2 is closed. The panning is not. I need to figure that out. Then the filtering also has this, but it's not releasing, so maybe this, and then cut off like this. I don't think that's. I don't think that's the issue. It's still doing it. It still goes really crazy. Let me keep researching here. Man, I still have a hard time figuring out how to properly program a synth, and Citrus is the one that makes me go totally insane. I'm yet to make a decent patch in any synth. I'll have to go back to school to take the synth 101 or something. I will keep this post in mind next time I sit with Citrus, so I'll just try to figure out how to make them more efficient. Okay. There's got to be a better answer here. Hey guys, I'm running FL Studio 20. Your laptop has Intel Core. That's not it. I would suggest you work through this page since it's a U series you thought would draft. Hey, what's up, Robert? I had my draft oversampling Citrus at 0, ping at 16, got rid of the problem immediately. Thanks so much. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because I don't have the oversampling on, but that wouldn't make sense. No, it's still doing it. The problem is that it's multiplying my voicings. So maybe I should research that. Citrus. Let's see here. When I have trouble with CPU overload, things won't work around. I've used is isolate just the sound part I need that is causing the overload. That's not. Disable unison and oversampling. The more voices, the harder your CPU works to represent that information. I always do my composition in MIDI, and as soon as I have a piece, I'm still not. What are your PC specs? Thanks. Computer, could you post a project? Try adjusting the volume envelope for both patches or go into FL channel settings, miscellaneous functions, maximum polyphony number. Both softwares are starting. Let's see. No luck figuring it out. I mean, the problem is the voicing, so what I can do would be to just put one voice. It still climbs up though. Reduce this. What if I put the maximum polyphony to 1? Ooh, that might fix it actually. There. Is that it? What if I change the voicings back up? I think that fixed it. Let me do 6. Move this up to 6. Okay, that helped. There's the solution. The solution is you have to set the polyphony to the maximum of polyphony count here. You have to match it so that it stops it, or it caps it from multiplying it. So you can see here it's at 6 and it doesn't go up above 6. Now if I take this off, it just keeps going. Look at that. And then it crashes. Then it crashes your CPU. Or the fix is you have to cap your voicing to whatever you want. We're learning together, guys. See, I'm not like super. I know how to work Citrus. I know how to do things in FL Studio, but I don't know how to do everything, you know. And then oftentimes I come up with these issues, and sometimes it's hard to find the answers. Like right now, I didn't totally find the answer, right? I didn't really find the answer directly, but common sense just hit me, and I was like, you know what? It's probably controlled by this polyphony setting, since it is a stock plugin. Although it has this here, you need to affect it over here as well. patch name. What do we call this? I'll call this chords. Wavy. Patch your details. Mod X and Y modulate resonance and cutoff, as well as the wave shaper mix. There you go. Now I can save this preset as in here. I'm gonna call it chord slash wavy. Save. Now if I go into presets here, Eterno, chord wavy, boom. Let me resave it. Okay, so that's our first sound there. Now that we kind of have some of those things figured out, I feel like the rest of them are going to be a lot more smoother. So I'm just going to go ahead and go into the default preset again. Boom. Resets everything. I'm going to still leave it hooked up to the shaper box so that I can do side chaining on it. And I'm going to go ahead and create a bass this time. So let me put down the pitch here. And then oscillator 1, bring it down to the sub region. I feel like I still need to bring it down another octave. I'm gonna declick it and band limit it. Put a volume envelope. So right now it's just a basic sine wave. I'm gonna take off these. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the dry output of the sine wave so that that's cleanly coming out. And then I'm going to add other oscillators at a different octave to build the mid bass. probably make this a saw wave, run it through the filter, run it through a low pass filter, double, and then turn it on in filter 1, go into oscillator 2. There you go. And let's put the same. I believe if I do global, I think if I turn it on here, does it give me the exact same? No, it doesn't. What does global mean? Shared? Let's look it up. I feel like I should just get... Is there a way to just go directly to the index? Here it is. Okay, let's go into Citrus. Global. Is anything gonna come up or what? Citrus. Okay. The main module operator, the filter, creating arpeggios, Citrus tutorials. I need to know what global does. Global filter envelope levels. These properties allow you to define global offsets to the cutoff resonance filter envelopes in the patch. Please note that if the patch does not use ADSR filter parameters, these will have no effect. But I need it in the envelope, not in the main section here. Here it is. Global. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? Global. Enable this option to use global envelopes. The envelope of all notes, including those already playing, restarts with each new note starts playing, so all notes share the same envelope. Useful for making perfectly synchronized gated presets, as well as some special effects. So does that mean that it applies to everything? Let me test it out. I'll make this one really short. This one really long. No, that's not what it means. It's okay. I'm just gonna copy state and I'll just paste it. Let me shorten that. Release. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna make it monophonic. I'm gonna turn this off. Max polyphony 1, which is the voicings. I just want one voice. Now on the cutoff filter, I do want some filtering. can even do a third one if I want and run it through the same filter. Put it an octave higher though. I can do some pitch modulation on it. I'll randomize that. I'm gonna copy the volume envelope, paste it. I might do some pitch shifting on here as well. What if I run filter 1 through it? Oh, it sounds like Stranger Things. I think the thing that I have trouble with is the filter envelopes. They just seem a little weird. Like, I don't understand the negative and positive of the filter. Like, up here should mean that it goes all the way up and it opens the entire filter, but it doesn't. But I guess if I turn this all the way up, then it does. So this is like the envelope amount. Okay. I think the glide, is it this? about the re-triggering? Is there a way to re-trigger that? Okay, now what if I add some effects? So right now this is doing some chorus, so I can just turn that off. I can turn on some reverb. There's different types of reverbs. I like the warm reverb, warmer, because this is bright, brighter. This is brighter. This is bright. This is flat. This is warm, and this is warmer. Basically, it's just more filtered, the reverb. Ooh, that sounds nice. I can do it to the main filter. Or I can just do it to a separate oscillator, like oscillator 2 or oscillator 3. Or oscillator 1, but oscillator 1 is really low. I don't like adding reverb to the super low end. Sounds very muddy. So I'll that's kind of the difference, because if I edit on the main filter, it's gonna add reverb to all of them, which is nice. And all I really have to do is go into the effects and go into the low cut and just make sure to cut out that low end from the reverb. if I want, I can also do a delay, which would be crazy. If I turn that on. Ooh. I'll just leave it on the main filter. Ooh, baby, this sounds nice. I need to figure out now the way that this glide works. Huh, interesting. I've never really messed with this too much, but that's cool. Okay. I really like this bass. I think what I can do is map the cutoff X to the modulation here. I might even be able to do something crazy like this. Maybe mess a little bit with the resonance too on mod Y. It's a little too crazy. We can bring that down just a little bit. It's cool that I can map the panning as well. That's nice. I can do the volume too. Now, is this the volume of the effects? I wonder. Let's see. It is. Wow. Okay. So then I think I'm going to map it to X, so that when the cutoff goes open, which is in the middle, it should turn on the volume. I need to reset this back up here. Yeah, so when it's right in the middle and the filter is open, it's wide open, and then when I go over here, it's a little more subtle. Woo! That's crazy. Okay, so we got the bass there. What's the patch name? The patch name could be bass. And then this, what do I call this? melodic tech, mellow tech, crunchy. I don't know. I'll just call it crunch. Whoops. Crunch. And then the patch details, I'll put the X and Y modulates the cutoff filter, the resonance, and the effect when centered. Effects and cutoff are open. There you go. So when it's right in the middle, everything's open. The effects are fully on, which is the reverb, and the cutoff is open. Not all the way, but it's open. And then everything around, when you go a little bit lower, there's a little more resonance. When you go up, it's just more of the dry. But when you go towards the middle of X, it opens it. So both sides it's the same, but in the middle, it's open. And then Y, same thing for Y when it's in the middle. It's the most open for the effect. Off to the sides, it's turned down. Oh, that is fire, bro. And you can change the tone of the bass by modulating these. So when I put it in mono, it sounds exactly the same. Hey, what up, Fernando? There it is, baby. There it is. So now I go here, save preset as, go into my pack, and let's save it. It's gonna be bass. Trying to organize everything. So bass is gonna be called crunch. And then we're just gonna save it. Let me just rename this or change the font here. Save. Boom. So now we have in my folder bass crunch and the chord wavy. So we made two sounds in Citrus. love that actually. So there you go. Now if I insert citrus and I go into my pack here and I put in the chord wavy. Hey, what's up, Jordino? I don't drink coffee, no. No, I do not. I wasn't gonna stay up late today, so I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be streaming for. I wanted to make a couple of sounds, but so far I only made 2 sounds in Citrus, which is this one. But I like the way it sounds. I'm gonna save that instead. Under the same cold. Yes. double as a lead. Nice. It's very nice. It's very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna save this as a separate preset. Save as a separate version of this. I'll just call it slower, as it's modulating a little slower. And this bass is just super sexy. If I insert another citrus, I go into my pack here, crunchy. Huh. Interesting. It does not save the polyphony settings here. So I'm gonna have to, it is in mono key though. One voice per key. But it's still letting me play multiple notes at the same time, which is not what I want. Well, that's gonna be a problem. Same thing for this. It needs to be set here under the polyphony. Does this allow me to channel state? Oh, my girlfriend's calling. Hello? Are you okay? Why? What's going on? Sorry, fellas. Had to attend to girlfriend duty. She's not doing too good. She's in some pain right now because, you know, girls go through their monthly abdominal pains. So she's kind of struggling with some of that right now. So gotta be there to comfort. But all right, we made 2 sounds. I think I can squeeze in another sound before I get off. I don't want to stay up late. But I also slept a lot earlier today, so I'm not like super tired yet. But I need to figure this out. I need to figure out how to cap the limits of the polyphony, or how to save this entire thing. I guess I could save it as a patch or preset, which I think it's still not going to save this portion of it. That's kind of dumb though. It should save this as well. Because why wouldn't it, you know? Polyphony. Let's see if we can figure that out. When saving. Polyphony export bug. Change the disable maximum polyphony setting on the right. You do not have the required permission to view the files. What? Hello, I'm currently experiencing a bug where when I try to set a channel's max option to 1 under polyphony in channel settings, it works. I can hear it work when I'm playing from within FL Studio, but when I export it to a file, it is as if it ignores that option and allows notes to overlap. Please fix this. Hi, this is not a bug, but a feature. Sometimes the maximum polyphony is used to save CPU or generally get a better experience with overlapping notes when working. You can toggle if you want it on or off in the rendering options. Maximum polyphony is disabled by default. Okay. Pretty sure I have that turned off. Maximum polyphony. What if I go into maximum? Let's see what I can find here. I'm trying to go through all the basic features that this program can do, and I can't quite figure out the maximum polyphony. How does this work? The user guide says that this sets the maximum number of voices that the channel can play. Does this mean the maximum number of notes that the channel can play? I can hit chorus. What does this mean? Monophonic sense, like use one note per period, blah, 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 blah. I know all that. No, I need 1 to citrus. Here it is. I've read that if you have FL Studio, there's a way to make this thing play monophonically. Well, we Cubase users, I guess, are just screwed. How do you make a VST without monophonic mode? I don't know. Open the miscellaneous tab, hit the mono button so the light comes on. Okay, that's... What is it called? The miscellaneous tab? No. It sucks that all this stuff is from like years ago. Like, look at that. 2009, 2005. Citrus. How to play Citrus in monophonic mode. I almost drove myself crazy trying to figure the sense from polyphonic to monophonic mode. There's no obvious button on the Citrus. It's underneath the modulator in Citrus. If you're referring to the mono key button that had absolutely no discernible effect on my sound, I don't know if I did something else wrong or if my version. Indeed, mono, polyphony, and legato parlamento is only achieved through the channel mono settings in the miscellaneous tab. The mono key mode button means each key uses only one voice at a time, but different keys can use a voice. Useful for reducing polyphony with fast note patterns as it cuts overlapping release envelopes retriggered on the same key. Oh, okay, so then I can use that to control the chords here. If I don't have this maximum polyphony on. If I turn that on, mono key, that should. Well, there you go. Now they're not overlapping. That's beautiful. What is Gibbs? Attenuate ringing ripples. Portamento off. Global pitch. Okay, I'm gonna resave this again. Save preset under the slower. Save. Yes. And this one. Go into the main tab, turn on mono key. What is random? Enable randomness. Huh. I need to go into the index again and kind of look at these things. But let me save this presets as wavy. Yes. And then bass, crunch. I think I had it on. Yeah, that one's on. But the thing that's not on is the monophonic mode. Huh. Okay. Let's go into the manual here. Let's go up. Where's the main section? Here it is. Random. Where are you? Random. Okay. Random enables random mapping in the articulation section of each module. If you use small property variations via random mapping to introduce a more inaccurate performance, example to simulate a live performance or the slight inaccuracy of old analog synth, this option allows you to quickly turn the randomness off and get perfect output without losing your settings. Enables random mapping in articulation section to each module if you use small property variations. This option allows you to quickly turn the randomness off and get perfect output. Oh, okay, I see. Mono key, this CPU saving feature. Enable this option to limit the number of voices per key to 1. Unison voices are still generated if unison is enabled. For example, when you play a note with the long release, then play the same note again before the previous release has ended, it adds to the number of notes being played and so CPU load. Yeah, that was a problem that I was facing earlier. So that's how you fix it with the mono key. Soften applies a softening filter to the attack of voices with the velocity less than the default. Turning the knob right increases the effect, while turning it fully left disables it. Global pitch. Enable this option to make the pitch articulation of operator 1 global, so that all other operators use it as a base from which to offset their own pitch settings. Center. Enable this switch to remove the DC offset from the final Citrus output. This should be enabled if DC offset is present and affecting sound quality. Attenuate Gibbs phenomena. This option attenuates and unwanted side effects of synthesis called the Gibbs phenomenon, i.e., low level oscillations, ringing around the point of sharp transitions in output amplitude, discontinuous line. You can learn more about the Gibbs phenomena on the internet. Alternatively, you may choose to use the per operator version of this command in the harmonics editor. Portamento enables pitch envelope controlled slides or glissando. Enables pitch envelope controlled slides. In addition, the usual piano roll based slides in the native version of Citrus to activate envelope based portamento enable a pitch envelope within a text segment and load the porta basis FNV in the pitch envelope and examine how the duration of the attack portion of the pitch controls the portamento duration and speed. HQ envelopes increases the envelope accuracy but with greater CPU use. In many cases, this option is not required as the default setting is sufficient. Do I have that on? I think I do. Oh yeah, I have it turned off. Oh yeah, I forgot about the oscillation tab. What is the damp tab though? Center declick applies a special filter to avoid clicks. A DC offset removal band limits the waveform. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's make another sound in Citrus. Now that I figured these out. Actually, let me undo this. Let me compare it. I think everything's the same except for this. This one's just being sidechain. That's the only difference. Okay. Delete, delete, delete. And now insert Citrus. And I'm just going to link it to any of these just so that it has some sidechain. We're going to go into the default preset, which sounds like this. It's just a sine wave. I'm going to go ahead and turn this mono key on and the center to remove any DC offset. I'm gonna turn this off. Actually, I'll leave it on. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. I'm gonna go into operator 1, into the pitch. I'm gonna turn down this pitch to about 10 cents. 13 cents. And I'm gonna apply randomization to maybe some phasing as well. Declick it. Offset band limit. I wonder what else I can randomize, because I think the pitch is the only thing. I mean, I guess I can randomize the volume as well. And the phase. Oh, let's do the phase randomization. That would be cool. What is mod though? Input modulation, pitch, input modulation. Hey, what's up, Comica? What is the input modulation? Let's find out together. Input mod. There's volume. Mod. Defined the amount of influence other operators as modulators can have on the current operator. Graph bottom, no modulation. Graph top, maximum modulation. Oh, okay, so that's the amount of frequency modulation that every operator has the effect it has on one another. Okay, I get that now. Then there's volume. Let me turn on this envelope. Take this off. Turn it on. Put a long release time. Okay. I'm gonna do the volume, randomize that a little bit. What if I do maximum? No, not that much, just a little bit. Let me modulate the panning randomly as well. So just randomly pan that to the left. Let's run it through the filter. 1. Let's add a second filter. A second oscillator. Same thing, I want to modulate the pitch amount. I wonder why it does pan it here. But it doesn't do it on the filter. But it does do pitch modulation. I guess I have to do it. That doesn't make sense though. I guess I have to do the panning. I can't do it in here. would have to be separated. Hello, Tigran. Okay, well then I will put them through the filter. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. How about yourself? Ooh, I wonder if randomizing these parameters would sound cool. As well as this. what does damp do? Let me check. Damp. Plucked damping. This target has effect only if the plucked strings mode is enabled for the operator. This envelope mapping sets controls the plucked string dampening amount. Graph bottom 100% damp. Graph top no dampening. Oh. That might be nice actually. Let me see. They're already kind of damp. Unless I expand these. That might be fun. So if I put damp mod X like this, and then mod Y like this. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna flip that dampness. Affect the effects as well. That's crazy. morning, Danny. Hello, Gilp. Decaf coffee. Oh, bro, I hate decaf coffee. I mean, I guess it depends what kind of decaf coffee you're drinking, but I rather drink actual coffee. I don't like the smell of it, and the taste of decaf is a little too much for me. I don't drink coffee just because it's very acidic and it upsets my stomach. If I'm gonna drink it, I drink it with a lot of milk and sugar to sweeten it. But I just rather not drink coffee. Um, I just drink water and juice or smoothies or things like that. Hey, Danny. Good morning. Morning. I'm not really making techno. I mean, I have a techno groove going, but I'm doing sound design, so I'm making sounds in Citrus. So this is my third sound already. I made two other ones earlier. I'm working on my third one, which is more like of an arpeggiation type of sound or a lead sound. It's like a pluck, but it can be expanded. That's kind of what I was messing around with here that's kind of what the dampening means. When you have the pluck selected, and you modulate the dampening on the bottom, it means there's no pluck, and on the top it means there's 100% pluck. So it shortens the signal in a way, the decay time. So it's nice to play around with the different modulations here, as well as the effects amount is also being modulated. I should kind of do this as well. I think it'd be interesting. I can also just go directly out. But yeah, I'm doing sound design. Just kind of showing you guys how you can make sounds in Citrus. So that's that sound here. I think I'm gonna remove maybe this one actually. So not turn that on. So I'm gonna call this, let's see. What do I call this patch name? Is it a lead or a pluck? I'll just call it a pluck. And I'll call this super mods. Patch details. Mess around with the modulation to get different. Did I spell it right? Different variations of sounds. So it's going to be called Super Mods. I'm going to just copy the title here. I'm going to save. Make sure everything's selected here. Good. Okay. I'm going to save preset as. Go into my folder here. And I'm just going to paste plug Super Mods. Save it. And now we have a fourth sound that I made in Citrus here. I'm slowly going to build up this pack of Citrus sounds, and I will be releasing it on Patreon for those that are supporting me on Patreon, which is Mr. Emery Hami. So you'll be able to get that once I do finish it. And then if you guys want to just purchase it, I'll have it available at some point on my Gumroad as well. I'll make an announcement whenever I release this pack on Citrus. But yeah. So this one is called, what do I call it? Super Mods, which is just a plug that you can use as an ARP. And when you move this modulation, this XY modulation, you get some variations of the sound. You can always manipulate it more yourself. Let's open up some other ones that I made today. The chord, this one is kind of fast paced. Same thing, you can mess with the modulation for the filtering. And then I made a slower version of that same preset. And then there's the bass, which is my favorite that I've made today, right now. For this, you would have to, like any other bass sound, you gotta click mono here so that you don't play multiple notes at the same time. It's gonna just single it out to one note at a time. And of course, when you mess with the modulation, it'll mess with the cutoff and some resonance as well as the reverb effect here. So when it's in the middle, everything is open, including the filter and the reverb amount. And then when you go off, it closes it. And if you go up in octaves, you can use it as a lead as well. Yeah, baby. So those are the sounds, and then of course the pluck that I just made. Yeah, boy. Okay, let's delete that. So yeah, that was those are Citrus sounds you can make in Citrus. There's also GMS, which is another one that I want to make a pack for of sounds. I have what? I thought I had some. I mean, I have these presets, but I need to save them into a bank. Um, I would just need to make one here. Oh, I have these. I don't know why it's not coming up under. Oh, it is right here. Eterno. So this I've just barely made one sound in here, I guess. I think I made that a long time ago. But GMS is pretty easy to understand. You just go in here, user default, resets everything to default, which is a saw wave. And you can turn on the oscillator too with this knob. You have the pitch for the oscillator 2 and the fine pitch, so if you want to pitch it up an octave higher. You can invert it, which is weird. Then you can choose different wave types as well. There's Rhodes. There's a bunch of different wave shapes. I'm gonna go for Rhodes. I'll choose 2. Then there's the voicings. Then there's the stereo amount, or the stereo spread. Let's make a pad. Then there's the detune amount of the voicing. You have unison. Which is the phase of the unison. I'll just turn that up a little bit. You have retrigger, which re-triggers the unison phase. You have noise. You have modulation. So you can modulate each oscillator on itself. So you have 1, 2 different types of modulations. Then there's the octaves here. And that's it for this page here. Then you have your MIDI EQ, you have the velocity to the level, so you can affect, the LFO, the decay, the envelopes, the cutoff, the resonance, different things like that. So you can map that there for your velocity. You have modulation, aftertouch, pitch bending, and then you have an equalizer, an EQ that you can use here. Then you have filter. This is your main filter. So you have low pass, band pass, and high pass. And this is resonance. And then you have keyboard tracking. Then you have the envelope for, it can control the filter, it can control the modulation, it can control the frequency, or it can control the LFO, which is super cool. Lots of options there. For the sake of this, I'm just gonna have it control the filter. So I'm gonna bring the filter cutoff down. And I'm gonna make an attack, a big attack time, and then the amount is the amount of cutoff that it's gonna modulate. And then you have an invert, and this destination is just for this. This type is just for the type of filter. Then you have your LFO. You can synchronize it to the beat, to the bar, or no synchronization by doing this, or you can just click here. Then the rate is the speed of the LFO, and the amount is the amount of modulation that it's doing. And you can route it to the filter, to the modulation amount, which is this, and the frequency, and then the level, which is the volume. The frequency is the pitch. And then you have different shapes for the LFO. You have a sine wave, saw wave, triangle wave, square wave, and you can invert that as well. And you have two LFOs. You have LFO 1, and then you click over here to go to LFO 2. So you can have two LFOs modulating different parameters. Same thing with the envelope. You can have two envelopes modulating different parameters. And then you have the amplitude here, which is just like a drive type of thing, like to add extra volume. And then you have your main volume here. This is your envelope for your volume. So for example, I want this to have some release. So I'm gonna up the release here so that it like keeps going. I'm going to, everything's good here as far as the decay and sustain. I just wanted to stay open a little longer. I can also decrease the attack time so it opens a little faster. I can modulate, let's modulate the filter. So there's different types. If it's a sine wave, it would sound like this. If it's a triangle, sawtooth. I like that one because it just gives it a nice flavor. And then a square is just on and off, so it's very sharp. But this one's nice. You can also invert it so that instead of going down, it's going up. can also have it sync to the beat just by doing this. So now if I go into LFO 2, I can modulate the modulation amount here. Or the frequency. And this can make it sound a little more analog if you want. I mean, of course, not this intensely. But you can lower it down to just very little, just to create slight modulation in the pitch. And then you can also modulate here the modulation amount. Or the LFO. And then you have here the pitch, which is going to be the pitch bending or pitch slide. You have the frequency. You turn it on. You can up this to an octave. Or lower it to. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. And then you have all these effects. So you have distortion. In order to activate any of these effects, you have to click on glue. You click glue and it'll turn it on. So without it, if you move this, however, it will activate it so that you can hear it, but as soon as you let go, it turns it off. So if you just want to hear what it sounds like. So that's distortion. So you just got to be careful because the more close you get to the middle, the more intense the distortion gets. Again, you hit glue. And this will tell you what it's modulating. So parameter X is modulating the distortion. Parameter Y is a filter. So over here, it's a closed filter. And then as you go over here, it opens the filter. Then you have an LFO. Which you can modulate this. You can sync it to the bar or to the beat. Same thing with the shapes as this one. And then this is the speed. And you turn it off by going to 50%, I believe. Yeah, 50% is turning the LFO off. Let's do a little distortion there. Then you have bit crushing, which crushes the sound. Same thing, you can apply this LFO to any of these effects. So everything stays the same. And then you have flanging. You have phasing. You have a low pass frequency, a low pass filter. And you have a high pass filter. You have a delay. I gotta turn it on. And same thing, this is the timing of the delay. And then here it'll tell you the feedback amount is as you go this way, there's more feedback. As you go to the left, there's less feedback. And then this is a filter. So as you go to the right, it opens up the filter. As you go up, it opens up the filter. As you go down, it closes the filter. And then you have reverb. I'm not sure if the timing does anything to the reverb. I don't think it does. Then you have panning. And then you have a, what is this called again? Kind of like a gate, like a trans gate. And that's it. That's how you use GMS. It's super easy. Again, you have the EQ here. You have these different modulations that you can do, so you can link different things to, you can reroute different things, hook up the modulation, the aftertouch, the pitch bend, which is on all on your keyboard, and then your velocity can affect the amount of attack, decay, the cutoff, the resonance, the LFO, all this stuff. So how hard you press on your keys can affect your sound, and it just better helps you to create sounds, to do some sound design. Huh, why is it doing that? Why is it that when it starts playing, it doesn't do that anymore? Huh, that's weird. Okay, let's figure that out. GMS LFO changes when. Let's see if we'll find an answer. When I started this track, I made an automation track for the full rate on my GMS, plain purple label. Did you accidentally press record? Feel like more people have joined. No, that's not gonna help me. Well, that's not the problem because I own FL Studio. Let's see. I must have done something. Hello? I love, are you okay? Are you still in pain?